And down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have our red Zerg player from Evil Geniuses. It is Suby. And his opponent, the top right-hand corner from Team Liquid, winner of the last game with some very, very nice Ling run by play. It is Sheth. All right, so it's CVC time on Cloud Kingdom. Suby, of course, a guy who kind of flew under the radar initially when he was picked up by Evil Geniuses, but has been posting some ridiculous results lately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his performances in the WCS tournaments, not the most recent MLG, but the one, I think it was in Columbus, one right before us. He actually made it further than any non-Korean did in the open bracket. He actually made it to champion bracket round 2. And Asus Rog, I mean, he was up. He dominated his first group 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Yep. I think he even made it to, in the single elimination bracket, he was up 2-0 against Hero before he fell down in next 3 matches. I mean, he's just been doing some great play lately.
All right, well, and we can see apparently Stefano is actually in chat at the moment, so they're trying to get Stefano out of the match, so manner him. There he goes. But yeah, no, I mean, he's been doing really well lately. It seems like some nerves have kind of racked him on the biggest stage, but he's certainly a guy that I look forward to, pretty big future, and also a local Bay Area guy as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a UC Berkeley student. Yep. So he's, you know, a college esports athlete, we can say.
Nice, nice. I like it. Well, I'm just waiting until we can start giving people full rides for playing StarCraft.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
If only, huh?
CSL needs a little more funding, I think.
That's right. A few tens of millions of dollars more funding to make that happen, but that's okay.
Well, you know, once our generation becomes millionaires.
Oh, clearly, as will happen. Yeah. Like, I mean, we're just waiting. We're getting by on the trillions of esports dollars right now, but once that conversion rate goes up, we are gonna rake in the money. So Suby decides to pool first, puts a hatch down afterwards. Sheth deciding to hatch first, but that's been the difference in the build so far, and we'll see what they transition to after that.
Picking Suby to play Sheth is another interesting pick because he is known mostly for his EVP, and like he was up 2-0 against Hero in in the Asus tournament. So it's interesting they didn't save him for Hero, but I know he's had some great ZVZ results too. Him and Idra have had some back and forth matches. I know he beat Idra at a recent tournament, though he lost as well. So it's he's definitely got some good ZVZ, and he's probably has something he likes about this map.
Yeah, well, we'll see what that's going to be here. Already we've had some pretty good players go down on both sides. I mean, Puma's out of the match, which is a big hit to Evil Geniuses. We saw Zenio go down as well for Liquid. So, I mean, certainly some of the big hitters have already been knocked out. But, of course, we have kind of the monsters still to go. We have the JYPs, the Stefanos. We have, on the other side, the Tasias and Heroes. So it'll certainly be interesting to see who gets thrown out for either of these teams after this.
I mean, many people would say those 4 players are probably the 2 key players for each team. So they're definitely saving some of their biggest guns for last, which is a strategy a lot of teams employ.
So, taking a look at things now, we'll grab a look at the drones. Pretty close at this stage of the game. There's a queen out a little bit quicker. Looks like actually now it's just evened up for both sides now. 2 queens do finish a little bit faster for Sheth with going with that hatch first. But otherwise, things are pretty consistent here.
I mean, the speed timings are almost identical, close enough to basically the odds of him getting an advantage from that extra 10 seconds of speed, it's probably not too high because they'll both be mostly making drones. Both are continuing to mine gas. And the question is are they going to be making a lot of Zerglings trying to play aggressive, catch opponent off guard? Of course, Sheth knows Suby's baiting timing. So it's unlikely Sheth is going to try any like Zergling aggression just because he knows his opponent will be prepared. Suby, of course, tends to be a pretty defensive player himself, so I don't think we're seeing anything crazy out of him either. And
we do have the Baneling Nest coming up for Sheth. Of course, he knows that the threat of Banelings is there, and you absolutely have to have the defensive Baneling Nest, unless you're just Nesty and you just win with Roaches right at the beginning or something weird like that.
Nesty wins with almost anything. He can, wave his magic wand around and win with drones probably. So
I do want to see him just max on drones at like 8 minutes and go kill things, so just see what happens. But, of course, with queens for a few transfusions. You'll need those in a 200 food drone rush.
Well, it'll be the more improved version of the 200 Roach.
That's right.
Minute max. It'll be the 8-minute drone.
All right, so taking a look around the map now, it looks like quad gas coming up for Suby pretty quick. No, I'm sorry, 3 gas. He did not put up his 4th gas yet. Mutalisks have become much more of a thing lately in CVC. We've seen players that go after 2 gas, then go up to layer, then go to quad gas and quick into mutas.
And even some people have been going 2-base Infestor tech play, which is, for a long time, that was like unheard of. You're like, why not take a third? But some people have been, I know Idra's been mixing in a lot, and a couple other players as well. So, while Meatless are probably the more common 2-base tech option, Infestors are definitely a possibility.
All right, well, we'll see here in a second what they go with. Suby already throwing down that Roach Warren, though, so maybe we'll see the quick Roach Infestor play from him. And already investing in +1 upgrade, so not likely that we're going to see any sort of Spire tech.
And Sheth getting the Roach Warren as well.
Yes, he is. Up at the front, along with an Evolution Chamber. His Evolution Chamber coming up much later than his opponents, though. He will be quite far behind in +1 weapons.
Yeah. What are the drone counts at? They both... Okay, Sheth actually has a nice little bit, well, nice slight lead. I mean, he can go back and forth all the time. So he's got a few more drones. Suppy's getting a jump on the upgrades, like you said, jump on the Roach production. And the question is, what is he going to be able to do with that? His third's going to be a little bit behind as well.
Yeah, but Suppy is already putting out 9 Roaches, so just trying to hit a very strong Roach time here. Wow, just continuing to push those into that, and is Sheth going to have the correct response for this? He's going quickly into Infestors, he's investing in his upgrades, he's getting a 3rd base, but of course not any part of that is unit production.
I think this might be, I think Suppy planned to do the 2-base Infestor, but then when he saw that Sheth he's guessing he went lair because he didn't see a 3rd, and then he sees the 3rd, and he's figuring, okay, if Sheth's doing the build I was planning on doing, maybe I can hit some speed roaches and kill his 3rd before those Infestors really can come out, and then I can play a 3-base versus 2 situation, even with later tech.
All right, well, he is going to be able to attack with a monster number of forces. He's going to have 21 Roaches here in a moment to his opponent's 2, with much better upgrades as well.
Yeah. Sheth is ahead in drones, and he's got that Infestor tech, so Suppy does not move out. Sheth will definitely be an advantage, but here he's coming. Moving for that 3rd, and you know what? With this much of a Roach advantage, he might even be able to push through to the natural.
We'll see if he can do it. There is a little bit better of a defensive position being established. A lot of spine crawlers being put down, and Sheth may just give up this 3rd altogether.
You know, there's a counter going on at Suppy's 3rd, and if Sheth can kill this, it can kind of equalize things. I mean, he's already forfeited his 3rd, but I think Suppy should be able to defend this. Looks like some Zerglings of his own are coming back to counter that. And I don't think that, Banings and Roach are even better.
Yeah, and so he cleans that up with no problem. Suppy, though, going to continue pushing through the natural, as you suggested. And here we have it. These spine crawlers are not actually up yet, so if he's able to actually focus these down right away, he can gain himself a nice little advantage. But now the spine crawlers are coming into play.
The Infestors are almost out, but not quite yet. Sheth's going to have to pull drones here.
Yeah, this is not the best scenario, but when those Infestors pop out, he should be able to start repelling this back slowly but surely, but he has lost 5 workers in the meantime.
Yeah, and I think it's most likely he can use, the Infestors pop out right in front of the Roaches. One of them goes there really quickly. He's having to use some suboptimal fungals just to keep those Infestors alive, and they are all out of energy. He is going to hold this, though, but meanwhile, you know, Suppy has that 3rd. He's been able to drone it up. He's even building a 4th macro hatch as well.
He certainly is doing that, but of course, Sheth was able to keep quite a bit of supply alive himself, so he's certainly not out of this game, and he does have a pretty decent little counterattack coming his opponent's way. Yeah,
Suppy's definitely got to marshal his defenses. If Suppy can hold his 3rd, I think he's going to be in great shape, as he does have a drone advantage and a production advantage, but Sheth has a lot of Roaches coming at him.
Yes, he does, but look at that, 16 just popping up for Suppy. Of course, he has to rally them all in place here. We'll see if Sheth wants to actually take these on. He is, as a matter of fact. His own +1 weapons are done.
Real quick.
Yeah, it doesn't take too much of a loss in return either.
And here's Infestors coming. How much energy they have, how critical. Oh, there's one with a lot of energy. 2 more to just throw out a couple infested Terrans. He's saving that fungal, though, but meanwhile, there's a lot of Roaches just came out on Suppy's side.
And of course, they did decide to use purple and red as their colors, so the Roaches look identical running at each other, so we apologize for any confusion that may cause. Sheth reestablishing his 3rd, though. It's about halfway done at the moment, but it's going to be a while before he can get that into position. And as we can see, with a round of 14 drones coming up at the same time, Suppy's going to be able to power ahead on economy pretty well.
Yeah, and I believe his own Infestors should be on the way.
I would think, yeah.
Oh, just starting pathogenic glands. So we still got another about, minute or 2 before it really kicks in. But I don't think there's much Sheth can do in the next minute or 2 to really slow Suppy. And if Suppy can just, like, power up his Infestor count and then max out on Roaches in the next minute or 2, he might have just, too much of an advantage over Sheth.
Oh, really nice positions here sitting at the top of the ramp as well. He's able to pick off 1 Roach, almost got a 2nd too as Sheth retreated. But I mean, this position is just so defensible. You've got 2 ramps, you've got this even ground path that's actually quite short between the 2 bases. So usually in non-mirror matchups, it's pretty easily exploitable by things like siege tanks, but you know, in this case, in the ZVZ, it's going to give Suppy quite a big advantage.
Definitely have to wait for Broodlords to really break that, or a massive unit advantage, as in what Suppy had in his early push.
So 157 supply to 136 at the moment. An 8-worker advantage for Suppy, but not the biggest in the world anymore, especially as we move to this stage of the game. Finally, this third base is up and running for Sheth, and there we go, Hydralisk coming down for him.
And Suppy's been reinforcing with a lot of these little speedlings, because he does have, you know, he spent a lot of gas on the Festers, which gave him this mineral surplus, and so he's adding in a 4th base and this nice little speeding counter. Maybe he's going to try to posture to get Sheth out of position with his main army, and those speedings can kill a hatchery really quickly. Unfortunately, he's sending them in without any fake, and those roaches are all on top of it.
Yeah, and good number of Zerglings actually went down there. The roaches dealing with those very quickly. So 166 supplied to 159. Upgrade advantage is going to go to Suppy at the moment. He's finishing +2 well before Sheth is, and Sheth does not even have +1 armor started at the moment.
Yeah, Suppy just got... He's got a slight macro advantage just throughout this game, but it's not big enough that I don't think he can actually kill Sheth. Maybe he can deny the 4th and maybe get his own 4th up, but it's going to come down to really who has better control in these tuner food battles. Unfortunately, Sheth coming out a little bit bold of him. Oh, but some massive fungals. Yeah,
fungals actually hitting pretty well for him. Finally, a big group of forces off to the left is hit as well. A decent position here for Suppy, but of course, Sheth does have forces reinforcing from both angles now, and he is actually going to be able to push on through this roach count up at the front, starting to even chase down these infestors.
Yeah, that was a great battle for Sheth. He had a few more roaches there, and he just had a nice concave on Suppy.
So roach count, well, is actually being replenished very quickly for both sides, but of course with the additional DPS and Hydralisks being added by Sheth. He does 88, 24 drone advantage. Actually take that out of the overall supply, and you see that his army supply is way down at the moment.
And he is turning some of those drones into spine crawlers. With that much of a drone count, I mean, he's can really... I mean, the spine crawl, he can afford to build a lot of spine crawlers, but those don't help him too much unless he really utilizes them maybe to throw a lot of counterattacks and then stay safe at home, or maybe he's going to go Hive Tech. It's not really clear what his plan is at the moment.
Okay, well, he certainly has the ability to go to Hive Tech, but not a lot of extra resources for now. He's going through his gas very, very quickly with the amount of Hydralisks that he's producing. This is always that interesting stage of the game when Hydralisks go out and retake their side of the map because the Overlords have been very lazy the entire time. I don't know, it always cracks me up in ZVZ when this happens.
Each player suddenly loses like 6 Overlords.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, now he's lost supply and needs to replenish those, so as both players are starting to produce them. That actually did favor Sheth a little bit because Suppy actually had better Overlord coverage at the beginning.
Which makes it worse now.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird to think of, but that's what happened.
Yep.
All right, so Suppy now powering his way through the rocks as he tries to open up these attack paths in the middle. Sheth just going around the side, thinking about engaging here. The Hydralistic advantage does, of course, go to Suppy at the moment, though.
But Sheth has the overall army supply advantage due to that difference in drone counts. Of course, that also means Suppy's probably going to, his bank is going to increase at a faster rate. So the longer they sit around, the more it will probably end up favoring Suppy. Yeah, 2 Hydras going for a stroll in the wrong part of the town right there.
You don't want to be here after dark. This isn't the time you use public transport. So,
Suppy caught with some of his guys going the long way on the high ground, getting cut off. Meanwhile, his main army is now kind of get stuck on this low ground. Sheth's going to come in from multiple angles, except a lot of his guys are stuck in a kind of weird spot. Infestatorian's going on everywhere.
Yeah, and Suppy still does have a lot of DPS here, but that was a terrible position for his army to be in, and he gets stomped flat. Now, he does have a lot of extra resources, as you mentioned, so he's going through that very quickly, producing 11 roaches and 18 Hydralisks at a time, and still has a pretty decent bank of larvae, but, you know, it's still going to be a difficult proposition for him to get anything done.
Yeah, he really put himself in a tough spot there. I mean, he was right next to Sheth's reinforcements. A lot of his units went the wrong way. It was kind of just... I think he wasn't sure what he was doing. He's moving his army around. And a general rule, you don't really want to be on your opponent's side of the map unless you're really confident you can go out and take it, just because the rally is going to be so much closer.
Now, we do see that he replenished his forces very quickly. He's back up to 191 supply overall. But and he does have the defender's position here, but his infestor count down to just 2.
Yeah, he has a lot of Hydratus, but, you know, I mean, infestors can make Marines.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And this big AoE stun thing on top of that, so pretty difficult position. And already
great 2 fungals on Suppy. He's making those 2 infestors count.
Yeah, he is making them count, but that's all he's got now. As we see the infested Terrans that are dropping down are purely Sheths, and so he's going to use those to buffer damage up at the front, continuing to try and push through here. It looks like the upgrade advantage, there really isn't one at all. It's actually dead even, as +2 armor is not finished up for Suppy at the moment, and he is just getting steamrolled here. Looks like the last few units for Sheth are going to be able to push on through. We'll see if he can take out some economy as well. Nope, actually just going to turn around and go back home. Yeah,
I mean, those Hydras do have to gather. There's so many Roaches rallying in, and that's always a disadvantage. I mean, it happened to Suppy when he was on Sheth's side of the map. This time wasn't so bad, because Sheth was able to retreat with his last few Hydras. He was able to get those Infestors back, because he knew that mass Roach rally was coming in.
Well, as we see things, it is still a massive worker advantage. Excuse me, for Suppy, and actually just made another round of drones to get himself back up to 83. So that is his comfortable drone count. He does have another base down here in the bottom right-hand corner, of course, but this army is just bearing down from Sheth.
Yeah, more infested Terrans coming out. Sheth has Hydras behind his army. Of course, Suppy has been unable to rebuild that Hydrotus line. His Roaches are the first thing to rebuild. Sheth just got more stuff here.
Sheth does have more stuff, and you can see the advantage of having that DPS and the Hydralisk at the back as well, because Suppy actually walked up with a superior number of Roaches there, but he just can't break through, and Sheth is able to completely destroy that. There's the GG from Suppy, and Liquid goes up 3-2 here in this best of 9. Really well played by Sheth, taking a second game in a row.
Yeah.